Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So today, let's take a look at the all-new 6th generation 2026 Toyota RAV4. This is an XLE, it's finished off in ruby flare pearl, and this model here is powered by the 2.5-liter 4-cylinder hybrid. It's paired to the eCVT transmission. This model is also front-wheel drive, so it pumps out 226 horsepower with 163 pound-feet of torque. It weighs in around 3,800 pounds, and with a 14.5-gallon fuel tank, you can expect to see 48 miles per gallon in the city and 42 out on the highway. Now, this also has a wheelbase of 105.9 inches. Its overall length is 181. It has a width of 73, a height of 66.5, and its ground clearance measures in at 8.1 inches. Now, as we take a look at the exterior styling for this XLE, you'll notice up front, this has a body-colored grille with the cutouts, which are finished off in black, give it a really nice integration. There's also parking sensors up front. You'll notice LEDs for the lighting, which wrap around this bodywork, and then you'll notice there's some cutouts in the lower section of the bumper, along with some lower air dam fins and 2 bulges coming down the hood to give it a great look. There's also the gloss black trim accent that runs from headlight to headlight to tie those in nicely. Now, as we work our way to the side, there is plastic for that lower section of the bumper, and it works its way to the fender flares. It's also in the lower side skirts, and this has a great design for these multi-spoke wheels. Now, there's also gloss black for the side mirrors where there is a turn signal, and then up top there's roof racks, no sunroof for this particular model. There's also really nice lines that flow down the side, and then this neat trim accent that goes from the cargo window all the way up and wraps around where the integrated spoiler is. So there's the third brake light up top and the wiper blade down below. Now, this does have LEDs for the lighting in back. There's also the backup camera, all the parking sensors. You'll notice the lower section of the bumper is plastic, just like up front and on the sides there. And then this has a very small Toyota badge just above RAV4. Now, you can also use the control down below or the key fob to gain access to your cargo space, where you have a good bit of space. You'll notice there's tie-down hooks. There's also a storage bin on one side. You do have the removable cover, so you can use that as needed. And then underneath the floor, there's a spare, and you can use this for a little bit more storage if you need to. Now, of course, you can also fold down the back seats to maximize your interior cargo. And then up top, you have the 2 controls to either close the liftgate or to lock the vehicle. Now, as we work our way to the interior, you'll notice this model does get body-colored door handles and the beige interior, which is a great accent. There's a little bit of storage down below. You have a lot of storage actually in where the grab handle is, so you could place some items there if you need to. And then you have the beige seats with that solid design. Now, if you use that release by the headrest, you can fold these seats pretty much flat, and you have a large opening to place in a lot of items, making this very practical for your cargo. Now, you'll notice behind the seats are storage pockets. You have vents and auxiliaries. And at 5'10", I have 3 inches or so of headroom. So for its smaller size, it's very spacious. You could be taller than me and be pretty comfortable in the back. There's also the cup holders and the armrest in the middle. And then the cargo windows are pretty large, making it easy to see around that pillar. Now, up front, you have the addition of the window controls, side mirror adjustments, more storage down below, and that same 2-tone design, of course. And then you get a power operating driver's seat finished in beige. RAV4 is also on the carpeted floor liners, which is a nice touch. And as we start this up, there's a leather trimmed steering wheel. You'll notice on the right side, there's all the cruise control settings, where this model also has distance pacing, lane keeping assist. And then on the left side, there's volume tuning, you have voice commands, and then you can access the full digital gauge cluster. Now, if you use the arrows to go left and right, you can actually pull up some of this information, which is going to be fixed. So this is how the screen will show. However, you can also scroll on the left side and go through this information as well. So depending on what you'd like to see in the middle and on the right side, you can go through it this way. And then you can also adjust that screen there. So you can't adjust anything on the right side that is going to be fixed. Now, on this left side, there's a dimmer switch for the gauges, the lift gate, fuel cap release, hood release. You have 1 air vent. And then with the infotainment system, it's pretty easy to go through. You'll notice all of these widgets, which are customizable. So just depending on what you would like to see, you can place there. You can also get into your map, your phone, along with audio, and then you have different settings and profiles that you can adjust depending on how you would like to set this up. Now, you'll notice still within the screen, you have access to the heated seats, physical buttons to adjust your temperatures. If you touch on them, you can also swipe up and down. And then you have fan speed, volume, and defrosters as well. And you can also use this with your voice commands, of course, and Toyota has updated that. So if I push on this, hey Toyota, turn down the fan speed.
Lowering the fan speed.
You can easily use adjustments like that, so you don't actually have to use the screen if you don't want to. Now there's air vents underneath that. You get wireless charging with a lot of storage. You get even more storage in the lower shelf there. And then with these two controls, you have different driving modes. So you can go through those. It will also change on the gauge cluster there. So just depending on the throttle response that you would like. There's also an EV mode that you can access. Now, since this is not the full plug-in hybrid, there is a speed limit with the EV mode, and I will show that once we get this out on the road. There's also your auto LSD along with traction control. You have some auxiliaries, some cup holders, and then with this in reverse, you have your backup camera with the guidelines there, and then you can also shift using the shifter here if you would like. Now you have auto hold and the e-brake, and then with the center console, you can not only open it up two different ways, but with two hands, you can release both of those sides and then completely remove this. Now you'll notice there's some auxiliaries down below, and then you can reinstall this the opposite direction, where now you have this small lip. So you can place some items there if you need it, or flip it around for a functional armrest. Now you have storage in the glove box along with up top, and then you'll notice there's a sunglass holder and dome lights too. And then here's a look at visibility, where you have a lot of glass. So it makes it incredibly easy to see over both shoulders. So getting behind the wheel of the latest Toyota RAV4, I just finished driving a plug-in hybrid. So now we get to experience the non-plug-in hybrid, which is still a good option to go with, just depending on your budget, the options that you would like, and of course, front wheel or all-wheel drive. So with this model here, pretty much more of a basic spec with what you do get, but it's a nice layout. You still get all of the tech features that are going to make this a great daily driver. As far as driving it at highway speeds, it seems pretty composed and comfortable. This would make for a great daily driver, something you can really rack up the miles on, and it's super comfortable as well. Now this model does not have the sunroof, so we get a little bit of extra headspace. So at 5'10", I probably have about the same as the back seats, just over 3 inches or so. But now let's put it into sport mode and we can compare to the plug-in hybrid. So from second gear, here we go. You can definitely feel it still gets up and moves though, which is impressive to see. Obviously the hybrid will give you a lot more power, but as far as getting up to speed, maybe you're getting onto the highway, merging, something like that, you still get a good bit of power with this model here. So I think that was adequate for this latest model here. And I like the redesign for everything on the interior. You have a really nice user-friendly tech system. You have a lot of storage for this smaller vehicle as well. And as we were able to take the woodland trim level off the pavement, that is an option that you can go with the RAV4. You can go with the GR as well if you want some more sporty aspects. So you have a lot of different trim levels and a lot of different ways that you can spec this depending on your driving style. Now, in terms of this being a great daily driver, it is small, but I think Toyota has packaged it well for your interior space. So if you're doing a lot of city driving, you don't want a large SUV, but you want something that you can still put all your groceries in, you can put people in, maybe some luggage or picking up people from the airport, something like that, you'll have a good bit of space. As we pass a woodland trim level there, you have a lot of different ways that you can spec these, like I mentioned, but I think it's a fantastic vehicle. It rides super smooth. And let's touch base on this EV mode. EV mode is unavailable. We are going 30 miles an hour. Unlike the plug-in hybrid, this is going to be something for parking lots. Maybe you're pulling out of your driveway. EV mode is activated and we are going 7 miles an hour. So let's see what its limit is as we get up to 15 miles an hour here. It might top out, yep, 15, 16 miles an hour. You can use EV. So if you have it charged, which it will charge from the engine, you can use it. You could deplete it if you were going that slow. So maybe if you're in stop and go traffic, you could put it into the EV mode, which is nice. Unlike the plug-in hybrid, it just kind of works in the background, so you don't have to worry about charging it externally. And still in sport mode, here we go. The pickup on this is very, very impressive. For not being the plug-in hybrid, I don't have any complaints with the amount of power that this model has. But this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the latest RAV4. You have a really good outlook from the driver's seat. I can clearly see that passenger side with the bulge in the hood there. Makes it very easy to place the vehicle. Visibility is also super good to see. And you have a nice, comfortable place to be. These seats have a good design to them too. With the seat time that I've had behind the wheel of these so far, we're filming a lot with Toyota. So take a look at the rest of the trim levels that we're filming for the day, including taking the Woodlands off the pavement. This has been a fantastic vehicle. I've always been a fan of the RAV4. Personally, I like the 4Runner, I like the Tacoma like I own, just for a little bit more of the rugged and towing capabilities. But if you're just looking for a great daily driver, one that's going to be super good on MPG, this could probably go, I think what was mentioned, maybe 400 miles or so on a full tank. You're going to get some really good MPG. This has been driven a lot today, and it's averaging 39 with what's been driven with this today. So super impressive with the MPG, the styling, the features that you get. From what I've seen, these are going to start in the low $30,000 range. So with this XLE, you're probably going to be somewhere in the mid 30s-ish, give or take. We don't have official pricing yet. So for a brand new vehicle with the tech features that are available, it's definitely a great way to go. But that is going to wrap it up for the 2026 RAV4 XLE. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a huge thumbs up. Consider smashing that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with our daily uploads along with the rest of the trim levels for the new RAV4. And I will see you all in the next video.